at the person you helped, because we live in a society where we're constantly just like, to each his own, to each his own. You know what I mean? But once you get the help, it changes it just a little. And you go, okay, there's some cool homies out there. You know what I mean? And what you do is you ride off that little momentum by helping someone else. And then eventually when that help comes back to you, it's not just the one notch, now it's 2 notches. Because now you're like, okay, the people are still there. You help another person. So it's literally, just helping as many people as you can without expecting anything in return, because the help is going to come back in one form or another.
Yes.
So I agree on that.
Look at the elements of nature, or whatever they call it. Nature gives freely.
Yeah.
The oxygen we currently breathe.
Yeah.
The wind that takes away the dead, or takes away the smoke from our environment. The rain that cools our planet. Nature just gives.
Yeah.
So if you are so gifted every day, do a little.
Do a little.
And if you do a little for someone, you are changing their perception as well. You're saying, to that kid that was always knocking on their door, today I'm vulela because you gave a little.
Because you gave a little. You know what I mean? And in turn, that person can do the same further down the line.
Yes.
You know what I mean? There was a movie about this called Paying It Forward. Sure, the movie ended tragically with the kid getting stabbed, and I'm just like, God damn, okay, that fucking escalated.
Yeah.
But the concept is still the same. You know what I mean? You help 3 people, so you as a person help 3 people. The 3 people that you helped 3 people each.
Yeah.
Those people help 3 people each, and before you know it, it's just a whole line of people helping each other. You
Bro,
know what I mean?
what you're saying, young Shia, you know what?
Yeah.
This morning I got a call from someone, a Nigerian friend, he's in Nigeria.
Yeah.
I was responsible for him going back to Nigeria.
Yeah.
Because we thought there was
Is that in a good way or a bad way?
good way.
Okay, I thought you got him deported.
No.
Yeah.
So he got there, things didn't work out, but he persisted.
Yeah.
His wife was probably happy because, our counterparts from elsewhere. Bahlala kakhulu South Africa, bahlala kakhulu overseas. And then umfazi uhlele yedwa. She was happy because they even got a newborn. Now ushonelo mama wakhe.
Yeah.
So he relates to me leso story. Bengazi ukuqala ukuthi ubani because the name is not the one I'm used to. So yangitshela namhlanje explain ukuthi no as well. Did you ever find The Rock? The Rock is a bodybuilder that we did a show with once. Yeah. So did you ever find me? I'm telling you, I want to do something for that man because he's a friend of his from Nigeria as well. Because he will never let me do something for him directly. So even if it's his family here in Nigeria, I want to do something.
You want to do something for them.
This guy, after 10 years, not 10 years per se, 5 years or so, he's still thinking of the deeds of someone.
Of someone else.
He wants to pay it forward.
Yeah.
To someone who is related to him in Nigeria.
Yeah. That's the thing, bro. Kindness, I think, taps into a piece of your, let me not say memory, but a part of your mind, right? That's responsible for tasks and obligation that you willingly put in there yourself. So when someone taps into that level of kindness for you, you can't help but want to do the same. As little as it can be, even if Mautata if 5 rand, okay, out here robotin. Because the truth is, so many people pass that human being not giving him anything, right? That he sits there and goes, shit, I need to resort to other things. I need to, some of them going to crime, some of them just fucking, going to depression, they start taking glue and shit, and then further down the line, you see them again, you go, that's why I'm going to my 5 rand, I'm going to about you end up killing themselves. So that little act of kindness of being able to help that person, you don't know what that does for them, Maybe my got to tell you 5 rand. By about 2015, they share that bread with another homie who's, you know what I mean? So those little acts of kindness, they change, they give that little shift in people's mindsets and perceptions.
Speaking about 5 friends.
Yeah.
The other day, in the traffic in Zima, where I stay, my off-ramp, when you off, I won't say where I off-ramp, but like off-ramp. So normally it's Tola Unchita. Under the bridge. It directed traffic. When it's raining hard, load shedding. So this day I'm told. Good takes me. This day I'm told. Fuck.
If I
did. I want to was These guys are not. I want to stop and go. I want to was I wonder what happened to the
What happened to him?
He's always there. And we have he's not healthy, but he's always directing the traffic and
So
I'm looking at that and saying,
now,
initially 5 rand.
You know what I mean? Marayena Intachunai is a lot more than just 5 rands. Now picture a position or a situation where if each person becomes I'm got 5 rand. You know what I mean? His life could be changed. we might not know where he is now. He might have moved over to a different area. He might be sick. God forbid he might not have his life anymore. You know what I mean? But if everybody was just giving him a little bit of money, that guy could have been in a totally different place. You know what I mean? Completely different place.
What is your how do we categorize your rap form? What type of rap do you do?
Shit. You know, I've been rapping for at least 6-7 years, and I find it very difficult to categorize it. And the reason is, depending on the mood that I'm in, I create a specific type of I guess, yeah, there's a different approach for different purposes with my music. You know what I mean? Most of the time they're heavily introspective, heavily. But they're also more on the positive side of things. I like not to, you know, rap about things that are too serious, because I honestly think if people wanted to hear serious dialogue, you'd go to 702 Talk Radio, you know? Like, I think music should be playful. Music should be not only insightful, but, you know, it should make someone want to move in one form or another, you know? But then I do have my hard raps. I've got the more melodic stuff that I do. Then I've got your like I'm saying, like your deeply introspective stuff where I'm talking about super personal things. A prime example is a track I did with Umeda called Eat, Pray, Work, Sleep. And funny enough, I wrote that song and recorded it on the day that I almost lost my life. So yeah, so I do different types of stuff. Hey guys,
we'll get back to the rap. Let's hear the juicy shit. Nigga almost left us. You know?
Nah, I had a
COVID thing here.
Yeah, true. It's the strangest thing. I still can't explain it, but I had edible bread, and I had a heart attack. I had a 20-minute fight for my life in a bathtub.
We won.
Yeah, hitting myself with ice cold water. And I was gone, bro. I was gone that day. I was gone. My heart was beating through my chest. Like, I didn't even have time to take my clothes off. I just jumped into the shower, and I just started hitting myself with ice cold water. And I remember my homie walking in, the guy who actually baked the bread. Fuck that guy. He was cool and all, but fuck that dude. He should have told me that strand was intense. But he walks in, and as he's trying to help me take the top off, he's like, bro, you literally feel like you've been in the sun this entire time. And I've been in ice cold water. This lasted for about 20 minutes. And after that, you know, obviously the heart is tender because it's been beating like a motherfucker. So I felt a bit weak-hearted. I thought maybe I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll wake up, but I was tired. Because I mean, I just had a whole 20-minute fucking session. I was ice cold at the end of it all. I got back home, I went to sleep, woke up the next day perfectly fine. No fever, no cold, no nothing. So I like to think,
of all the things that can claim your life, bread.
Man,
that's in your health.
I think God has a sense of humor. I think God likes to joke around, and he likes to see how he can test people. Because the same bread I was eating for years, all of a sudden wants nothing to do with my system. But yeah.
Then you write a song with Meda.
Then I wrote a song with Meda. In fact, the day Omeda was recording his verse was the day that happened to me. You know, and then about like 2 weeks later, I think we released the song. So yeah.
That nigga would never recover.
Nah, I don't.
See, that's the one thing
I wouldn't want to put that through my brother.
That's the thing I fear about losing someone. Like the way we were saying earlier on.
Yeah.
Better if I lose you, Mazuguti, you had nothing to do with that shit.
Yeah.
It was just circumstances.
Yeah.
But Meda for sure would never recover.
He would nah. I don't. And also I wouldn't put my brother through that. I would never put my brother through that because he's had the privilege of watching me grow up. You know what I mean? I met him at a certain point in his life. So it'll be a lot harder for him to watch me go down.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, it's gonna be heartbreaking for me, I know.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine what more it could do for him. Yeah. So I wouldn't want to put him through that now.
His influences, Meda does what we call iKasi rap or vernacular rap.
Yeah.
His influences, and also how did you manage to go this other direction in terms of your rap? So rap and singing most of the time, I think. Yeah.
In fact, I'm exclusively English. I've only ever written maybe 2 or 3 vernacular raps. But his influence in my music it's heavy. He got me into hip hop in the first place. I used to listen to some of his punches and be like, oh, that's fucking smart. So what he's saying here is, you connect the dots, So he had a very huge influence in my music. And to be honest, the only reason why I don't make iKasi rap is because I was exposed to different things. So in the household that I was in, there's three siblings. And all three of us had substantially different ways of being raised. My brother got a specific way of being raised. He was exposed to certain things. My sister exposed to her own things, and me exposed to my own things, And because of that, it just created the difference in personality traits. It created the difference in outlooks and perspectives and the ways that we choose to portray ourselves as people. That's literally the only reason, to be honest. Yeah.
But your impression of the genre that he's doing, the movement that largely iKasi rap, it grew and blew up, if it blew up right in front of your face, because Zumacom is pretty close to where it was all happening. Vernacular rap is the reason why we have Abu R.i.p, Abu Pro, Abu as the
Meek, Chaka, Dolla.
So how much of it did you experience, and how much of it are you experiencing now? Where do you feel it can be if it's not gone to the extent you wanted it to go?
I think it's very unfortunate for iKasi rappers right now. Not because the art form is dead. The art form is not dead. It's still alive. It's well. I think it could grow even more, but unfortunately, for some odd reason, iKasi rap keeps getting overtaken by other genres that are similar in approach. Amapiano is quite similar in approach. There's a lot of people who do what I would call quote unquote raps in Amapiano. But they're at a slight advantage because iKasi rap, from my personal perspective and what I've analyzed about it is, it's almost as if boom bap came to SA, right? And then we interpreted boom bap rap in with our own perspective, our own frame of reference, and then we created iKasi rap, right? And while there are other subsets of iKasi rap, it's not just boom bap-esque. There's your trap sound and all that. The other genres that are more indigenous to SA are just given much more opportunity to shine. And I think that's the only problem with where iKasi rap stands.
Maybe the problem is personnel.
In what sense? What do you mean?
Amachita iKasi rap, njengoba mention about metaphors, about R.i.p, about Meek and so on. Maybe the personnel involved in it. Maybe.
Sure. I mean, it's.
Or maybe iLokishi are previously disadvantaged and the mainstream and also your urban radio stations just that shit stuff.
I think nobody wants to put money into it, and once nobody wants to put money into something, then it feels stagnant. You know what I mean? But people don't want to put money into it. But if they did, iKasi rap would be probably the biggest subset of hip hop in SA. It would have no reason not to be.
Because they tell stories about They tell stories.
You know what I mean? Lyrically, they have. So iKasi rappers have this thing. They fit into this pocket, this very interesting pocket with their lyricism, right? Where the content is both funny and serious at the same time. And there's no other genre that can do that. There's no other genre that can do that. Who's the most famous iKasi rapper that we can think of?
Chaka, Dolla.
Let's use the Siashes for instance, right? When he made the song Chola Nyaksab, man, it's serious content, right? But half the shit he's saying is making you laugh.
The dumbness involved. Makes you laugh and then pay attention.
You know what I mean? It's very hard for any other genre to be able to do that, to make you laugh and go, this guy's a serious rapper.
I think Eminem.
Eminem had that. Eminem had that thing, but unfortunately, Eminem is now in a point where his music is too aggressive. So that guy's aggressive now.
He's been
it was fine back then. you know what I mean? It was perfect back then. I think he got humbled because for a very long time he kept saying, I'm the greatest rapper alive. I'm the greatest rapper alive. And it's good enough to think you're the greatest rapper alive, but then hip hop as a whole got to a point where we all collectively realized that there is no such thing as the greatest rapper alive. There's no such thing.
Because Kendrick is doing the same. Remember
Kendrick's doing that shit.
Boys
yeah. And Kendrick was at a point where they were saying Kendrick is the best rapper alive, right? So communities, what I would then call in America iKasi, would say Kendrick is the best rapper alive, right? Other lyricists, right, would say J. Cole is the best rapper alive, right? The industry was saying Drake is the best rapper alive. And they were saying this shit all at the same time.
Yes.
In the same period of time. Ross is climbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Russ is climbing, Nicki's climbing.
Yeah.
Lil Wayne is still at the top.
Yeah.
But they're saying all these things.
Meek Mill is
you know
fighting
what I mean?
for his life.
Meek Mill's always fighting for his life, guys. Meek Mill stays fighting for his life.
Yeah.
But the point is, there's no such thing as the greatest rapper alive. It doesn't exist. It's not supposed to exist. The fact that that phrase exists is one of the biggest reasons why there's such a disconnect in the hip hop community.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
When they say that, I always think, okay, Amachita Shogan, the new age kids.
Yeah.
But if you take Lil Wayne out of the past 10 years or 15 years of hip hop, the game is dead.
Game's dead.
Because he was also the greatest rapper alive, but Eminem was putting in the work.
Eminem was putting in.
I mean Lil Wayne, sorry. Lil Wayne, I'm trying to say. Eminem has always been putting in.
He's always been putting in work. Lil Wayne, he owned a decade.
Yeah.
He literally owned a decade. He only started falling off when shit started getting a bit weird for him and like the label, and you know what I mean?
Oh, talking about labels.
Yeah.
In Dubai, I said Dubai.
Yeah.
His scandals with Ambitious right now and Inkabi Records.
Yeah.
What you make of that situation and
read your contract
as a lesson to all of us?
Read your fucking contract. Read your contract. Read the contract. It's like, man, you want to before you get to the boardroom, you sign. I'm bored.
Yeah.
You know, show them more. It's like how they say, if you're thinking about a hun, right, and you see that you miss her, bust a nut first and see how you feel. How you feel about it afterwards. Yeah. If you don't think about it no, if you don't think about it no more, then bolambi.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's happening. These guys make decisions based off of hunger, right?
But these record labels, why are there no repercussions?
They're all the same. They're all the same. It doesn't matter which record label you go to, they're all the same. The only difference is some record labels will be more likely to give you the terms and conditions up front so you don't have to read them for yourself. Whereas Ambitious is probably too busy to do that. I'm not gonna say they're not innocent, but at the same time I don't want to say it's all on Ambitious because it doesn't matter which record label you go to, it's all the same. Imabala almost did that to Nasty.
Yeah.
There was a whole lawsuit about his name.
Yes.
And the company was saying they can't use the name Nasty C, otherwise they need to get money, blah, 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 blah. So they're all the same. It doesn't matter which record label you go to. What matters here is that you're able to put yourself in a position where you can strike a bargain with him. So never go empty-handed. Once a record label, for me personally, once a record label says, we're gonna cover your fees, we're gonna cover your cost for production, we're gonna cover your travel fees, we're gonna book all of your gigs, all that shit. Breathe a little, like, just step back a second and go, okay, cool, let me review this for a second. If they're gonna do all of this, then I need to understand that for a good amount of time in my life, I'm not gonna see the money that that I'm making.
If you're smart, you can ask a simple question.
Yeah.
What if I do all these things myself?
Yeah. If you do it all yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand. I'm not saying I've got all the answers. I mean, if I did, I'd probably be as big as Nasty and all these other niggas right now.
Yeah.
But all I can say is, from the point of protecting yourself as an artist, when a record label comes to you and says, "Hey, here's a contract. Please read your contract." Yeah. And if you don't like something that's on the contract, tell them right then and there.
Don't even read your contract. Get a lawyer. Get a attorney. There's friends of ours who just graduated.
Yeah, they do. There's a lot of lawyers who do pro bono stuff.
Yeah.
Shit, you pay 80 rands a month for legal wise. They will read your contract for you. You know what I mean? Like, Scorpion charges 90 rands. They will read the contract for you. They will advise what's written in the contract and whether or not you should be worried. It's right there. The service is there. You know what I mean?
So who's signing you?
No one's signing me. I ain't trying to sign. At least not yet. At least not yet. I want to get to a point where I can sign my projects and not myself. If I can sign a project, I'm happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then I honestly think once someone signs you, they have a certain leverage over you. They have control over your life. Yeah. I don't want that in my life. You know what I mean?
7 years in the game, 7 years making this a career.
Yeah.
Is it a career?
Still working to it. It's a career. It's a career already from a mindset. You know what I mean? Not from the pocket yet. No, I make more money from my other stuff than from music. Yeah.
What are your standout moments so far?
That one's very difficult to answer because a lot of the stuff I've done is behind the scenes. But as far as in front of the cam, I've been getting good enough recognition from homies who I didn't think would know about my music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
2019, for instance, I got a very heartwarming shout out from Stogie T for Verse of the Month. I've been Stogie, no joke. You know what I mean? Proper heavyweight in the game. I've been getting recognition from the peers, but also it's a very difficult thing to answer because what I see
that's actually a standout moment right there.
Yeah.
You just hit it. Maybe there's more, but that stands out for me.
Well, the reason I say it's difficult for me to actually say what it is because I look at the milestones as less of what the public is doing for me and what I'm doing for myself. So I mean, while I can get on things like Soft TV's Wooden Spoon, Wooden Stool. Yeah. You know, I can get onto Gen Z's music show as a tastemaker. I can do all these things. For me, it's about where am I currently as far as my long-term goal is concerned. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Therefore, I don't see any of these other things as accomplishments as yet. You know what I mean? Until I get there, then I can start looking back and going, okay, cool, that was my first big win. Now let's start dividing the wins and seeing where all the little wins were. Yeah. You know, right now I'm putting my head down. I'm continuing to work. I'm pushing. I'm learning. I'm adapting, and that's just where I'm at.
And the next offering or offerings?
So I've got an album on the way called Harmonies About Her.
About her?
Yeah.
Damn, cracks. Cracks. We always out here barking at niggas, bro. Niggas are going the right direction. Where the money is, the women, the ladies.
Look,
Harmonies About Her.
There's a science, right? Not that it's a science I'm adapting for the album, but there's a science here. Get the women to listen to the music, and the niggas will listen to your music because the women listen to it. Especially in the North. In the North, that's the strategy. You know what I mean? Because Huns in the North have huge influence, huge influence. And as a result, the men also flock into them too.
Yeah.
So it's not to say that, you know, it's because the niggas are simps or anything like that. But I think, I think women are just more likely to be trusted with tastes to an extent.
And then the way feel apart.
Yeah. If they feel a song, they feel a song.
Yeah.
You know, also funny enough, I've made song after song after song. I've never made a song for women a day in my life, but there's more women who listen to my music than men. It's the strangest thing. But then again, maybe it's because most niggas, like we said earlier, niggas are out here trying to prove that they rap better than you. Women ain't got shit to prove to you. So when they listen to your music and they like the music, they like the music because they like your music. You know what I mean? Sometimes niggas like your music because they want to feature.
Yeah.
Not because they genuinely just want to listen to your music.
Yeah.
So yeah.
How was the experience of being a daddy?
Oh, shit's fucking stressful, dog. Barely sleeping.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the number one thing. You barely sleep. And for someone who values, you know, sleep, I literally skip out on a gig to sleep. If they tell me you're supposed to perform at 7, and then it's 9 p.m. and I haven't jumped on stage, I'm going home. Even if I know that I was going to perform after the next 3 people, I'm going home. I respect my time and I respect my sleep. So for someone like that to not be able to sleep because of a newborn baby, hey, dog, it's intense. But it's a grown experience. You know what I mean? I think it's matured me more than anything ever has. Yeah. Because it's allowed me to stop looking at certain situations and certain things and saying, oh, this is a decision I should make.
Yeah.
You know, I'm thinking for more than just me, because sure, the wife is here, but the wife can think for herself. You know, but the baby can't think for itself. So I can't make a decision that's going to compromise the baby. I can make a decision that's going to compromise the wife as long as I've had the discussion and she goes, oh, dude, it's fine, I guess. You can do it. Yeah. But the baby doesn't get that chance, you know. So it's about learning.
What made you settle with this woman? What is it about her that you decided to start a family with?
Compatibility, sense of humor, good company, the ability to encourage me and get me out of any shit pit that I'm in. Understanding. There's a lot of things in her that not only push me as a person, but they also push my music. You know, she also does my visuals, by the way. So any music video, you know what I mean?
Out.
That's all on her. She's the director, so that's what she does.
Yeah.
So she adds more than just emotional value. She adds business value. She adds musical value. She inspires me a lot of the time and a lot of things that I need to do with the scripts, with my concepts, you know. She's literally able to help if there's certain things that I can't do, even within my line of work. She's able to help. If I'm overloaded, she goes, yo, let me grab this and that. So we have this tag team relationship, you know what I mean? No, she's an only child, unfortunately. Unfortunately.
That's a scarce breed, homie. That's a very scarce breed.
You know what I mean? So
the type you're looking for yourself.
You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been waiting all my life.
So you know when you get something good like that, you know you understand that you need to cherish it. You need to hold on to it with both hands, and you need to nurture that shit because, like you're saying, it's very rare for you to come across that again. Yes. You know what I mean? Yeah. So our relationship is more than just love based. It's also friendship. It's also business. It's it's companionship. Moving towards the same direction in our industries, in our line of work, in our careers. Yeah. There's just too many yes signs for one to try to fuck it up. Yeah. You know, and that was the decision. Yeah, that's why.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, to hear that from one of our peers. It is the hoes,
niggas need to stop chasing the hoes and the bitches, bro. And the reason you need to stop chasing the hoes and the bitches is because even when you don't chase them, they find a way to get there. So at which point are you gonna realize that once you've had one, you've had them all? Because people are templates. I think the biggest lie sold to us is the fact that each and every single person is this distinctly unique thing, you know. And while sure you're never going to find another Eon, it doesn't mean that this Eon here is not built off a foundation that is similar to this person here. So the values and stuff that you liked from Eon, you could get from this guy without even knowing, without these two having ever been in the same space or having been born under the same conditions or anything like that. The foundation is still the same. You know what I mean? So
the foundation is still the same.
The foundation is the same. You know what I mean? And because the foundation is the same, you can still find the similar traits. Yeah. That's how greatness sees greatness. If I see greatness in you, it's because I see greatness in me. Yeah. So if I uplift you, it means I'm uplifting myself to an extent because I clearly see something in you that I like so much that I want to see it go up because I wish someone would do the same for me. And that's just what it is. This whole thing of this hun is different to this one, and therefore I'm going to chase all these huns. You're wasting your time.
Like you're going to get fatter or smarter if you sleep with
you know what I mean?
Dog,
like cookie is cookie. It's all the same, bro. It's all made out of dough. You put it in the oven, it bakes after 25 to 30 minutes, and then you eat it. Cookie is cookie. Like, it's done.
Your life without music, where would you be?
Depressed.
Anjalo.
Depressed. I'd be depressed. Music is the only place where I can actually truly speak my mind. And like I was saying, the public does not know Eon. The public knows Uphumelele. But once they listen to the music, they find out who Eon is. You know what I mean? And once again, like I said, Eon is an identity I gave myself. Therefore, I truly think that as a person, the person I am is Eon. The person the world sees and the world created is Uphumelele.
But is it necessary for the world to appreciate Eon? Is it necessary for the world to know Eon?
No, it's not. It's not necessary for the world to even know who I am. Even if I don't, blow or become famous from the music, that's not what's important. I think that's a very huge bonus and something I would appreciate. But what's more important is that I continue being Eon, and Eon is the music. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah.
EON is the other person.
The alter ego.
The alter ego of Phumelele. These people walk the road together.
Yeah.
By a coachana.
Yeah.
But we are fagazela strategy.
Yeah. I always say to people, there was a guy who said to me, how do I know if I'm speaking to Phumelele or to EON? And I said, it depends on what you say. You know what I mean? So the response that you get, or the person that you get as a response, is heavily dependent on what you say or what you do. If you want Phumelele, you will act a certain kind of way. If you want EON, you will act a certain kind of way. Because the honest truth is, they can't live in the same space. Phumelele needs to be shielded from certain things. Or EON needs to be split from certain things. You know what I mean?
Does this duality not represent in traditional senses or spiritual senses the so-called guardian angel phenomenon?
Entirely. I'm a firm believer of that. I'm a firm believer of Guti. Because I always say Guti, Phumelele, right, is surrounded by people. But EON agahambi yetu. You know. Which is funny because people are gonna say it's the other way around because of, like, you know, your indigenous name and that sort of thing. So yes, I do think it creates a higher consciousness when you think of things in that light, because what then ends up happening is you then create or manifest a side of yourself that you can then pocket certain characteristics into, right?
Yes.
So Phumelele would be the innocent guy. EON is the guy who's ready for anything at any given time, right?
Yeah, I'm not ganda.
Hands are rated E for everyone, even if I lose. But that guy is also learning to change. That guy is also becoming, you know, more level-headed and calmer.
Yeah.
And he's not looking at every single situation with the same, you know, with the same eyes, where it's, okay, I feel like someone's disrespecting me, let me start some shit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So they both learn from each other. Phumelele learns how to be assertive. EON learns how to calm the fuck down. You know, yeah.
About to wrap it up with a quick quiz. The biggest inspiration in life?
My biggest inspiration in life? One person. I wouldn't say I have one person who inspires me, or who's the biggest inspiration.
A situation, anything.
I think the one person, situation, what they've been able to do with it, I think is Lupe Fiasco. Because as an artist, in fact, as a person, he came from a very, you know, a bad neighborhood, had a bit of a harsh upbringing. He went from selling drugs to just making clean music. You know, miracle that he's never actually done any of these drugs himself. I think that's huge for me, because when you see him now, you just think, oh, this guy's a fucking nerd who knows how to rap good. You know, but he was able to clean himself up and just be like, I'm not the result of my environment. So he inspires me on that front. And when it comes to strength, I think is my brother. Yeah. My brother's an incredibly strong human being emotionally.
Yeah.
Very strong human being.
Matter is present. The one thing that I like
present
about him,
yeah.
Delusional about 1, 2, frantic about this and that, and also anxious about a few things, but he's present.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, muntu angaphenduli for a week,
he's present. He's present.
That's important.
I mean? Yeah.
We don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
But your brother,
yeah. No, I agree entirely. There's never been a situation where I looked at my brother or his characteristics and I thought, this is some shit to shy away from or to look away from. Because now, given the way that he grew up and the shit that he exposed himself to, I mean, I'm not going to say anything he hasn't said. It's inspiring for me to see someone who was a certain kind of way when he was younger and then grow into this calm, level-headed, emotionally intelligent human being that we see today. You know, so, yeah.
Best rapper you ever featured and why?
I try not to feature rappers. No, for real. And the only reason I try not to feature rappers is because I want to be able to make a name for myself first. Then feature these rappers with them having the basic understanding of which I'm not doing it just because I'm trying to chase your clout. You know? But as far as the dopest rappers I've featured, I'd say Umeda would probably be top 3.
Yes.
There's a homie called Jethro, dope ass rapper from the South, dope ass rapper. And I think third would most likely have to be. Shit, who would third be?
Even if it's an artist, it's fine.
Trivial OG is actually dope. There's a rapper called Trivial OG who's actually fucking fire. Bit of a young come-up rapper, much younger than me.
Yeah.
But I see the potential and I see where he's getting to, and
I love those.
And I like where he's going. I like where he's going. Yeah.
And the fact their eagerness to, because the game is rotten.
Yeah.
But the persistence with what you feel is your calling.
Yeah.
It's important, even though you know the pitfalls and all of that. But you still want to do your craft.
You still want to do your craft. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and these are, by the way, the guys that I've mentioned are people I know have one, good energy, are collaborative, adaptive, they're willing to learn.
Yeah.
You know.
So Kuluma now, producers you admire?
Rap producers I admire. Shit. So many rap producers I admire, bro. There's a guy called DRTs, bit of a YouTube producer, but he's fucking amazing. He does some of the dopest stuff I've ever heard. I actually made 2 pieces with his beats. One back in 2019 was a song called Low Key, which kind of started the growth for the current fan base in my music.
Yeah.
And the second song is Eat, Pray, Work, Sleep.
Eat, Pray, Work, Sleep.
Yeah. Cyrus from The Vault is actually dope. I know there's 2 different Cyrus producers. I'm not going to bother mentioning the first one because everybody knows that guy's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
There's a second one, also Cyrus from The Vault, also pretty dope. Dope ass producer. Lilo April from Peter Maritzburg, he's dope as fuck.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a bunch of other smaller, little come-up producers that I'm starting to feel. There's a guy called Just Suede. So yeah, now there's a few. Yeah.
3 artists or groups in general that you feel make South African music special.
Ooh, okay. So y'all gonna have to hear me out for a second. Yeah? Young Stunner. I'm up out.
Yeah.
Young Stunner. I like what he does for himself. I like what he does for the culture. Second dude is Nasty C, and to be completely honest, it's because of his reach. He's reached areas that not a lot of other rappers have been able to reach. So I think that's dope.
Probably because of fearlessness.
Yeah. And also backing. Like it's got somewhat, a substantial part to play. Third artist is a guy called TBO, and also an Amapiano artist.
Yeah.
The reason is because I've watched just in about 2 years, this man has grown, he's grown, man. He's grown. His fan base has grown.
Yeah.
Musically, he's grown. His moves are a lot bigger and stronger than they used to be in the past, and this is just in the span of like 2 years. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Which mainstream artist, whether local or international, would you like to work?
Fuck, Saba, Jid. I'm only gonna call the international artists because that's where my mind is.
Yeah.
Saba, Jid. There's a guy called Comethazine, only because he's funny as fuck. And I think we need funny rappers in the industry because niggas are taking this shit too seriously. It would be nice to get something like a Kendrick or J. Cole, but I know by the time I get to a certain place, I won't want that anymore. But the one person I'll always want to feature is Lupe Fiasco. I mean, this guy's shaped the way that I look at music entirely. It's shaped the way that I look at hip hop because before Lupe, everybody was trying to be hard. Everybody was a gangster rapper. You know what I mean? You had your 50 Cent, you had the Game, you had Tony Yayo. Lupe Fiasco comes along and he does Kick Push. Now all of a sudden the nerds have a voice in the culture. You know what I mean? So definitely him, yeah.
Okay, very last question. Lowlights and highlights of the South African entertainment industry, not rap game or piano game, entertainment at large. The lowlights and the highlights.
Highlights is we're probably one of the most entertaining countries in the world when it comes to our entertainment. We're funny as fuck, bro. From our music to subject matters in our shows, in our dramas, in our movies. to our social media, to our man.
The little challenges we do.
People keep saying black Twitter, South African Twitter, guys. South African Twitter is where it's at.
Yeah.
So that's the highlight. I think we've got the entertainment down pat. You know what I mean? Where we fuck it up is not knowing the fine line between entertainment and disrespect. I think that's the low light, because we don't know where to stop. My dad used to say to me all the time, because you don't know when shit needs to be serious anymore. And that's the thing about South Africa. We laugh so much, we don't know when to be serious now. So India and Zagala, and before you actually take the time to absorb the shit for what it is, you're already laughing. It's an issue. I think we've gone too far.
Dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous. That's how you lose humanity.
You can be led to the transatlantic slavery. You can be led to a COVID slavery. You can be led
You know what I mean?
all manner of bullshit.
You can watch a mass murderer just go off, and just laugh about it. You'll find something funny instantly, before actually tackling the fact that there's a mass murderer on the loose. That's the way we are. And I think it's an issue. I think we need to fix it.
The Tembisa 10 story comes to mind when you say that. Do you remember the Tembisa story?
Yeah, I remember that. And people just going off on Twitter, bro, just laughing about the situation. I'm like, but you guys understand what's going on. Like, this is a serious situation. Nobody's safe in that neighborhood, wherever they are. Nobody's safe. People are laughing. And that's my issue with it. It's like, at some point, we need to stop laughing. You know, but be serious. Seriously. Seriously.
Thank you so much, Eon. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for rocking up. Thank you for letting us in your yard, bro.
I know.
Highly appreciate it.
Peace, love, and blessings, guys.
So where can we find you, dog?
You find me literally any piece of social media we can find me at, including LinkedIn, dog, everywhere. It's That Bro Eon. That Bro Eon. That's YouTube. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Everywhere. That Bro Eon.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is what we're going to do now. It's called the State of the Eon Address.
Okay.
With it, I need you.
Pele balibuchi shobare gopoche kaena gole kudu gole kamata gole gopoche bofelong bjana ga se mochabo khatelo pele tjabo phata diba tjona rafata rana ra hlapa tjare go biluga bona se la rawela dashala selogela dibotu bo maila for sholong konko Bule le pheko le photo a fete nkonko bule le pheko di mamathane di fete. F for the street talk, F for the street walk, me and